Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Please invite your friends and let us have a great time together. Today we are not going to refute Ali Dawah. We are going to wipe the floor with the Ali Dawah. You know, the Muhammadan, they make videos, very nice videos, you know, very nice act. So Lili Dawah debunk Christianity in 1 minute. That's it. And what you can say, it's not even 1 minute. It's like I counted, it was like 50 seconds. Maybe, I'm not sure, like, forgive me if I'm wrong, like maybe 49 seconds, 47 seconds. So how Ali Dawah, he did his miracle by debunking Christianity? That is a good question, and today we are going to answer it. And you Muslims will be ashamed, and I challenge you to copy this video around. I challenge every one of you. Let us go to Lili Dawah video. Shall we? All right. I'm just opening the video. All right. We open the video to start, and we go. Here we go. This is the beginning. The Muslims, a Muslim, he got two Muslims to ask him a challenge. Two Muslims asking a Muslim.
You have 1 minute for each question.
You ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Can you debunk the Trinity in 1 minute?
Well, it's very simple. They believe the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. These are all gods, but they are not the same as each other. So the point here is that if you think about it, they are all dependent on each other. Yeah. So if something is dependent on something else, it cannot be a creator. If Jesus walked the earth as a human being, ate, slept, and went to the toilet, we do not believe this is deserving to be a god to be worshipped. You know, so that's the reason why the Holy Spirit, for example, is the same thing. It is in the creation. Anything that is in the creation cannot be God because they are dependent. And anything that's dependent cannot be deserving of worship.
Amazing. Anything is in the creation cannot be God. Who said that? Lili Dawah. Muslims, I did not say it. It's your Lili Dawah. I'm serious. He said that. Your Lili Dawah, he gave you the answer. Well, I will let Lili Dawah refute Lili Dawah. Isn't it that nice? I mean, who can refute Lili Dawah better than Lili Dawah? Let us do that. Hilarious.
He said a statement which contradicts the consensus of all of the Muslims. He said a statement which is against Al-Quran and against what the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
Who said that? Who said that? Please, what? You are talking about who?
Said a statement which is against which recently Ali Dawah, when he was pressured by a Christian to explain Hadith Nuzul, he said a statement which contradicts the consensus of all of the Muslims. He said a statement which is against Al-Quran and against what the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught. When explaining this hadith, and this is not the correct understanding of this hadith, he said Allah
is a donkey, you know. I mean, come on, what you can say, brother? Lili Dawah is a donkey. Just say it. You know. Okay, what happened? What happened?
Allah enters into the creation.
Ali Dawah, he said Allah entered into his creation? What? No way. He said that? This is the same guy who he said Allah cannot enter anything that is in the creation, cannot be God. What the heck? No way. Do you have any proof? You don't.
And likewise, his friend Muhammad Hijab, he's previously said something similar to that.
What the heck? Even Mimi? No way. Mimi and Lulu, they gang together and they explain that Allah go inside his creation. Who is left? Now let us go to the cheese. This guy is so upset from Islam being busted. And how he answered, he said Allah is not like anything. I mean, that's it, he explained it now. Allah is not like anything, who care? I'm nothing like me too. Nothing like you idiot. Muslims are a bunch of fools. And here we made them shish kebab.
Into something has said Allah is contained. Entering into something, being contained by something, is an attribute of the creation.
Your hadith says Allah descends to the lowest heaven on the last part of the night.
Yes.
Can you explain to us what that means?
Yes, sure. So, I asked him a question, he replied with another question.
No, I'm going to respond.
Okay, I'll answer. We believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enters into his creation, you said the lowest part of the heaven, the way it befits his majesty. How that happens, how it happens, I have no idea how it happens.
You have no idea anything. But this is the same donkey, he said, anything that is in the creation cannot be God. And he is the one who put that graphic in the video, not me. I mean, can you believe the stupidity? So, shall I call the video Ali Dawah Debunk Ali Dawah? Or Ali Wawa, you know, destroy Islam in less than 10 seconds? Can you believe the stupidity of those people? So Mimi Hijab and Lili Dawah both agree that Allah can go inside his creation. But the video, which he destroyed Christianity in less than a minute, this was the name of the video. He destroyed Islam. How Allah he do it, he did not know. Maybe Allah should call you and tell you how he do it, man. I mean, come on, look how many microphones you have in your chest. You look like a goat, and they put chips on her so she will not run away. If she passed the fence, electric shock she will have. What is that? Is that microphone because you are a knowledgeable person? Look how many microphones in his chest. You think you are talking to George Bush or somebody, you know, like or Donald Trump. So the same stupid people, they contradict their own belief. And now what we have conclusion, I do not need to continue, I'm done. Shall I continue? He just destroyed Islam. Anything can enter his creation, cannot be God. Who said that? Lili Dawah himself. Let me repeat again what Lili Dawah he said. Not me.
They say, who do I pray to? The Father? No, let me pray to Jesus today. No, today, Holy Spirit. Who do I pray to? Anything that is in the creation cannot be God because they are dependent.
You know, here you notice that the Muhammadan are a bunch of dumb, and they play dumb in purpose. Which one I pray to? The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Yeah? Well, my friend, isn't it Jesus says, I and the Father is one? Isn't it Jesus, he said, anything you ask in my name, I will do to you? Isn't it Jesus, he said, when they ask him how to pray, he says, say our Father? So you are stupid, which means it doesn't matter. You say Jesus, you say in the name of the Father or in the name of the Son, doesn't matter. So you are a plain hypocrite. In the same time, if we are asking you, Allah, he pray to who? Allah, he pray to other Allah. Not only that, Allah, he is the God of Mr. Maybe. If we go in the Quran and we type the word asa, asa in Arabic, maybe, you know, perhaps, we hope so. Chapter 48, you see all those in yellow, they are asa. Asa, 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 asa. Look how many. Asa, 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 asa. Look how many asa, 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 asa. Asa, 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 asa. The God of Mr. Perhaps. But, you know, when you read the verses about asa, you will notice that this God, he is not sure, because you cannot say, you cannot be God and you say that word. All those verses, you can check them one by one. As an example, not limited. Perhaps, maybe Allah will destroy your enemy. It may be that your Allah. Is Allah talking? They say yes. Obviously, this book is written by somebody else. He is speaking about Allah. He is not Allah. If Allah is talking, Allah will not say maybe. He will say, I will destroy your enemy. But because Muhammad, he was not sure if the enemy will be destroyed or not, so he used the word maybe. And that goes for the rest of the verses. But let's go to different verse, which is very important, that Allah even is not sure if he can forgive or not, because he have to ask other Allah. He is dependent in other Allah. We will go back to the video. We are not done. We will wipe the floor with him. Already we did, actually. That Allah may forgive thee the sin, not fault. You see, the Muslim, they translate fault. They are liars like their prophet. This is sin, not fault. It says dhambaka. Dhamb is not fault. Here we go. We change the translator. Suddenly it becomes sin. So if Allah is God, he cannot be dependent in someone. But in the Trinity, nobody is dependent on anybody. You are a liar. Jesus, he said, my Father sent me. So having a mission doesn't mean the Father is dependent on anyone. I work, my Father work. So he have a work to do, the Father have work to do, the Holy Spirit have work to do. And if you are talking about what doesn't make sense, we will go to that later, and people will die laughing. Allah may forgive your sin. Is it make sense that Allah saying, may Allah will forgive your sin, Muhammad? I mean, this is Muhammad. And yet Allah is not sure if Allah will forgive the sin of Muhammad. And here you notice that Allah asking other Allah. Because if Allah is the one who's talking, now who is the Allah which Allah is asking for sin forgiveness? May Allah. I mean, he's making a wish. It's a prayer. It's a supplication. Now let's go back to the video, because we need more entertainment. And this video is full of it. All right, we go back. So the first one, it turned to be stupid. We continue. Where we stopped. Let us see here.
That Muhammad copied Quran from the Bible, Hasha. What do you say about this?
Well, we've got a lot of things to say about that. Not only that, the Christians have a lot to say too. Actually, the Christians talking helps our case, because Allah says in the Quran that woe to those who change the scriptures with their own hands and say this is from Allah. This again is a prophecy. If you think about it, Allah saying the Bible is corrupted. They've changed it. Now, if the Bible was not corrupted, the Quran is wrong, right? If the Quran is saying the Bible is corrupted, it's been changed. If the Bible is not corrupted, that means the Quran is wrong. You have Christians today, Bart Ehrman, well, ex-Christian, Bruce Metzger, and many of them, and when you go to the Bible, You have footnotes. These are added in, which shows to us that the scriptures have been changed. It's a prophecy. But coming back to the question that you asked, this was a little bit off tangent.
No, stop. Here you see how this idiot, he debunked himself. Because if the Christians are agreeing and they like to corrupt the Bible, then how you are saying that the Christians are correcting, according to you, the Bible, filtering the Bible if there is something added? You are a liar. First of all, if even somebody, he said those verses are added, doesn't mean they are added, because they cannot find, like there's thousands of manuscripts. So some scholars say, okay, we know what, this verse, we did not find it in the Greek version. But doesn't mean never was exist, because the one who copy, it's possible he is copying it from a copy which does not exist today. So they are comparing, and this is telling you how serious the Christians are about their book. However, you said something very important. If the Quran saying the Bible is corrupt and the Bible is not, that means the Quran is wrong. And if the Bible is not, if the Bible is corrupt, then the Quran is right. And this will be a prophecy. Let us go to the stupid Quran. You will find that the stupid Quran confirming the Bible. Tons of time. Not a single verse in the Quran saying that the Christians, they changed their book. The verse you are quoting, you liar, have nothing to do with it changing. And I will show everybody that you are a fraud like your prophet. Chapter 2, verse number 89. It says, and when there come to them, the Jews and the Christians, from Allah, confirming what is with them, between two brackets, the Torah and the Gospel. Confirming what? What is with them, not what was with them. So this is the stupid Quran 600 years after Jesus. 600 years after Jesus, confirming what is with them. But he said, if the Bible is true, the Quran must be corrupt. If the Bible is corrupt, then the opposite. But now we see that the Quran confirming the Bible. And the Quran is so clear in Arabic, says, what is with them, lima ma'ahum. Not to what was with them, as some false translation they try to say. And how the Muslim explained that? They say, yeah, the Quran confirmed the truth, like, the good verses, it says confirming what is with them. And the Muslim, they claim to us, Quran is a miracle in Arabic. It's so clear, brother, it's so strong. So they have to add verses to the Quran to manipulate the words and the meaning. And then, chapter 2, verse number 91, مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَهُمْ, believing in is what with them. Look at the first translation, the same sentence. Look, to show you, the same translator. People, can you believe how they lie? This is the same sentence. You see it? Here we go. I will type it exactly. It's in the front of you. And this is exactly the same one. How come here to translate different? It's the same thing. The same word by word. And this is the verse. The same word by word. And this is, it's the same word by word. They changed the translation. Chapter 2, verse number 91. Let us see. We change the translator. Let us see. Maybe a miracle will happen. You cannot trust a Muslim about his religion. They are liars like their prophet when it's come to Islam. And believe what has revealed. What? They took it. What is with them? They took it off. They took it off totally. Change the translator again. This is big time. Let us see different idiot. Kari. Mr. Kari has believed in what Allah has sent down and believe, what is confirming? Oh, hold on. confirming what is with them. Do you see it? So how the stupid Quran saying confirm what is with them all over, and those are not confirmed? Are they confirmed or not? Let us go to different verses in the Quran. There's even where it says ما بين يديهم, which means between their hands. Chapter 2, verse number 97. مصدقا لما بين يديه. What is between his hand? Chapter 3, verse number 3. مصدقا لما بين يديه. I'm just showing you the sentence now. Chapter 5, verse number 46. مصدقا لما بين يديه, which means between his hands. Chapter 5, verse number 48. We send you down the book مصدقا لما بين يديه. Okay. All of those saying that, and the rest, we have more. So we send down the Quran believing in what is between his hands. What is that? The Torah and the Gospel. Not only that, the verse before it, Allah is asking the Christians to judge by the Gospel. So if we have a fake gospel in time of Muhammad, isn't it going to be stupid to judge by a book is not exist no more? And here the translation saying, confirming what was before it, that's false. In Arabic it says, ما بين يديه. You can take the word yad, yadayhi, and put it in Google translation. Just to show you how they lie. There's a huge difference between confirming what was before it, why you are taking the hands off, because that's about something physical. This is about something physical. We copy this, we take it to Google Translation, and we paste it. Let me do that. Give me a second. As we copy from the Quran, in his hands. Now we go to the verse Lily, Lulu, she mentioned. He said, يحرفون الكلم عن مواضعه. What does that mean? If you go and read the interpretation, and now he will say to me he don't agree with the interpretation, you will see that there is a Jew. He put his finger over a verse in the Torah. He did what? He put his finger. He did not take the verse. He did not change the location of the verse. He put his finger over the verse. And this is about stoning to death. So you again lying. The Quran never mentioned that the Torah and the Bible is corrupted. You are a fraud. What this verse is about, he put his finger. And there's a huge difference between putting the finger over something and taking the whole thing off. Not only that, in the same story actually, Muhammad, he took the same book which this guy he have under his hand, and he took an oath in it. Let us go to the stupid yellow pages of Muhammad. In the same story, Muhammad, he swear by the same book which the guy supposedly, he put his finger over it. Do you see it? And we can find more details about this hadith, like we can find the whole story. Actually, let me find the whole story, because here there is little part of it in this hadith, and this is good hadith. Let me see. Let us find it. As you see, Muhammad is asking the Jew to bring the Torah to judge. He is judging from the Torah. But I'm just trying to find the whole story where the Jew guy, he put his finger over the book. Let me search it. Give me a second. Let us see. I'm not going to continue until I show you the reference so we can laugh at this false man. All right. I know that will make the video longer, but you know, it's better to find it so we can show the Muhammadan how they love to lie about their religion. They are fraud. Here we go. We found it. How they corrupted the Torah by putting their finger over the verse. You are a son of Muta. Here we go. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. This is what? The stupid Bukhari itself. What the man he did? He put his finger over the verse. And Abdullah ibn Salam said to him, lift up your hand, man. So when they were trying to read the Torah, the Jewish guy, he put his finger over the verse. So supposedly Muhammad cannot see it, and this is, in fact, that will debunk all of Islamic religion. They claim that Muhammad cannot read, because how you know what is written there anyway? So the guy, he put his finger, and you can read this verse's interpretation from their books, Ibn Kathir, Al-Qurtubi, Al-Tabari, Al-Jalalain. So when the Quran says they change the word from their location, the Quran is a stupid Arabic, because this is a wrong statement to say. Because putting your finger over something is not a change in the words from their location. And as long as he agreed that the one who changed words from their location, the Muslims agree that every single verse in the Quran is displaced. In fact, the whole Quran is displaced. What is the first chapter Muhammad received? They will say to you, Iqra, which is 96 now. Who display it? By the permission of who? Show me. Did Allah make a mistake when he gave them in an order which is not the right order? If Allah gave it the first one, you put it the first one. So the verse he quote for us about those who display or change the words from their location fit perfectly with the Quran, because they are the one who change the location of the words. If you go as an example where it says here, read and love. And actually, not long time ago, we have a Muslim, he called me, and he agreed that this is the last verse Muhammad received. Who put it here? Remember, the Quran says, those who change the location of the words of Allah. Isn't it this is a verse from the word of Allah? So if you change the location of the words, you are changing, corrupting the book of Allah. And this is confirmed in all over the Quran. None of the order we have of the Quran today is the order the Muslim received the Quran in it. In fact, every single chapter have many verses they should be given even in different location. Like you will see some verses are given to Muhammad 10 years ago. They are inserted in a chapter which given to Muhammad 10 years after. How you can put them there? They are changing the verses location. However, as long Mimi Dawah, Lulu Hijab, Lulu Dawah, the boyfriend, he said that you cannot change the word of God. You cannot what? You cannot change the word of God. But isn't it the Bible the word of God, you idiot?
If that was the case, if the Quran copied from the Bible, why did it not copy the mistakes? For example, we know at the time of Joseph, there was kings. They were not pharaohs. The Bible calls them pharaohs. The Quran calls them kings.
Let us see why. Because you are stupid again. Because you're a prophet, he thought this is the name of the Pharaoh. His name is Pharaoh. If we go in the Quran, and by the way, before I go that, just to remind you, when a Muslim, he says the Bible is corrupt, he is talking about the Bible of Allah. Which means the second he said that, and he is the one who said in the Quran, nobody can change the word of Allah. All those verses saying Allah sent down the Injil. Look how many times. Injil, 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 Injil. So Allah, he sent down the Injil, and Lili Dawah, he said in the video, no one can change the word of Allah. But isn't it that Injil is the word of Allah? Suddenly, the Injil is not the word of Allah no more. Suddenly, the word of Allah is only the Quran. They are very selective in their lies. Because either nobody can change the word of Allah, and then the Torah and the Gospel are included, because they are the word of Allah, and the Muslims agree, or you cannot, or you can. That's it. But to claim that only the Quran, Allah, He preserved that, that means Allah is accountable for deceiving, and he is a liar. He is the one who helped to deceive, because the Muslims, they say everything is destiny and everything by the will of Allah. So the question will be, was the Bible corrupted by the will of Allah or against his will? If it's against his will, that means Allah cannot be God. If it's by his will, that means Allah cannot be God, for he's Satan. Are you with me? So when a Muhammadan says to you, your Bible corrupted, answer him says, you mean your Allah Bible is corrupted? But this is contradiction for the Quran, where Allah, he said, La mubaddila li kalimatullah. Nobody can change the word Allah of Allah. La mubaddil. No exchange. Nobody can exchange the word of Allah. And this is mentioned in many places in the Quran, not only once. All those places, look how many. Chapter 6, verse number 34. Chapter 6, verse 115. Chapter 10, verse number 64. Chapter 18, verse number 27. All of them, they say, nobody can exchange the words of Allah. Suddenly, the word of Allah is only the Quran. Do you see why we laugh at them? Shall we continue with the video or enough? Isn't it this is very laughable? A thinker. Yeah.
Why kings? Allah calls the rule of Pharaoh at the time of Moses, but when it talks about the time of Joseph, it says king.
The Quran got it right. Aha. Let us see how Muhammad made his poo-poo. Everybody will laugh at you. Muhammad, he thought the name of that king is Pharaoh, you idiot. If we type the word Al in the Quran, Al, just Al, chapter 2, verse number 49, you will see it says, وَإِذَا نَجَّيْنَاكُمُ مِنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ. The family of Pharaoh, not even the Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a singular name, not the family of the king. Pharaoh Muhammad, he thought this is the name of the king. And you will see that all over the Quran. And the same appear. Look, I will show you al. This is al. The one in yellow is the word al. Al in Arabic, actually it's not an Arabic word, it's an Aramaic word. Al is a word mean the family. The family. How we can prove that? Here we go. Chapter 2, verse number 248. Ali Musa. Ali Musa. All right? Al Musa. Ali Fir'aun. Ali Musa's. So the silly Muhammad, he thought this is the family of the word Fir'aun is a name. If you, let us see Ali Ibrahim, chapter 4, verse number 54. Ali Ibrahim. What Ali mean? Family. Who is the name after it? A name of an individual. His name is Ibrahim. Let us go and read. The family of Ibrahim. So always the name will come after the word al, have to be a singular name, not a title. And they translate the word al as a family, as you see. You don't say the family of Egypt. You don't say the family of, Pharaoh. Okay, who is Pharaoh? Which one? So he used the word Pharaoh because he is an idiot who he thought that this is the name of the king. In the other story, because he did not know the name of the king, he called him king. In the Bible, when the Bible speak about the story, he say Pharaoh. Pharaoh mean the title, the king, whoever the ruler. So if I say right now, the king of USA, but they have king, they have president. The ruler of USA is the same. You know what I'm talking about. So the Bible is speaking about a title which everybody knows who they are reading. The Quran, because it's written by an idiot, his name is Muhammad, he thought that the word Pharaoh is a name of a person, not a title. And we can see the same all over. As an example, just to show you, all of those it says Al Fir'aun, but look at this, Al Yaqub, chapter 2, verse number 6. Al Yaqub, chapter 2, verse 6. Click in it. Family of Yaqub, the family of Jacob, the offspring. They translate here as his offspring. Look at this, offspring. Do you see it? So the stupid Muhammad, you cannot add the word al unless it's coming before a singular name of individual, not a title. Otherwise, you have to make Fir'aun al-Fir'aun. And as long it's coming Pharaoh in Arabic, Arabic is a special language. Remember, the Muslim, they keep saying that. So we have rules, we have a grammar. So the idiot Muhammad, he thought, well, this is the name. This is why Muhammad, he mentioned that even he knew the sister of the Pharaoh is going to have to be his the sister of Moses and the wife of the Pharaoh. They are going to be in his bed because Muhammad wants to sleep in everybody. Ali Lut, Lut, chapter 5, verse number 59, 15, verse chapter 15, 59. The family of Lut. What is the word family? Al. So what is the word will come after it? Singular name. So the Quran is not correcting the Bible, you idiot. The Quran is an error. And as long as you are talking about correction, isn't it the Quran speak about a summary was exist in the time of Moses? The summary was exist in the time of Moses, chapter 20, verse number 85, chapter 20, verse number 87, chapter 20, verse number 95. But there is no summary at that time. Moses, in the time of Moses, the summary was there. Mr. Correct in history. What a great correction. You change the translator as you wish, no problem. The summary is exist in the time of Moses. That's amazing news. Obviously, the Quran is correcting the Bible. The Samaritan, they were exist in the time of Muhammad, sorry, in the time of Moses. And he mentioned in his video, what's his name? Part Herman. Let us go back so we can laugh. But this is Part Herman been asked by apostate prophet about which one is more legitimate, the Quran or the Bible, specifically about the crucifixion of Jesus.
Would it ever be from a historical perspective, would it ever be reasonable to dismiss all the evidence for a historical figure for 600 years and then only take a scripture that comes 600 years later as the most credible source, such as in the case of Jesus, where he lived and died, and then 600 years later the Quran came and told us what really happened?
No, I don't think it's not historically credible. But if you're a Muslim, then you would say that it's an act of God.
Hold on, you mentioned this guy to prove what? This guy himself, he said, there's no book in the world have proofs and evidence the same as the gospel. He himself, he's anti-Christianity. There's no book ever exist have manuscript as the Bible. 600 years after, Abdul, his name is Muhammad, he changed his name from Qasim to Muhammad, which means the praised one, which means shirk. Shirk. This is the one you ask him to witness to prove what you are saying. He is saying the Quran cannot be accepted to have any credibility, for it is stupid.
No, I don't think it's not historically credible. But if you're a Muslim, then you would say that it's an act of God, and then so history isn't really what matters anymore. And so if history doesn't matter, you can make theological claims. If history matters, then obviously sources written 40 or 50 years after are more likely to be based on reliable tradition than sources written 600 years later, especially when you can show that the source written 600 years later is dependent on these earlier sources.
The sources which is written 600 years after is depending in our sources. As an example, Muhammad, when he took the story of Jesus creating from the mud the bird, he took it from where? He took it from a fake Bible. As long as Muhammadan, they say, we cannot accept, it's corrupt. So what he do? He go and he took from what is totally corrupt. The one is rejected by every Christian. He took the stories from corrupt books. Not only that, Muhammad, he took stories from books have nothing to do with God, like the Talmud, or a story written about the 7 sleepers, which is a fiction story, or the King Solomon speaking to the ant and the flying carpet of Solomon. What is the reference on that, and who in the world want to believe such a stupid story? This is the guy you ask us to put him in the witness stage. Not only that, I remember that there is a guy or a girl, her name is Mimi Hijab. She asked the same guy other question. What he asked him?
Quran is mentioned. If this book was from other than God, they would have found in it many contradictions.
If a book is without contradictions, that has no bearing on whether it comes from God or not. I've had phone books that are inerrant, but I certainly don't think God gave them.
And even Mimi Hijab, he laughed. But you know what? Let it go. Contradiction, the Quran is full of contradiction. Let us see another statement Mimi Hijab, he said in this video. Here we go. Watch carefully.
I really do think Jesus was crucified and that he really was dead and buried. He thought that he was a son of God in the sense that he was specially chosen by God. I think Jesus really did think he was going to be the Messiah, the future king of Israel. I mean,
See, he just screwed Muhammad. The guy they are bringing him to attack Christianity. He just said that Jesus really, he think that he is the Messiah. He think, and he believed really, truly, he is crucified and he was dead and buried. He believed truly. They brought the guy. They thought they can use him against us. He confirmed that the Quran is a fraud because the Quran denied the crucifixion of Jesus, and he confirmed that Jesus was crucified. So look how your work go against you. Your work go totally against you. Let us go to Lily Dawah again. Lily, what do you do, Lily? What did you serve? I don't want, I was planning to make the, yeah, actually, hold on. Here he said, they asked him how you would know that Christianity is wrong.
It's been corrupted. This is not added in here. This is taken out there. We don't know.
Remember, when they say he's corrupted, he's talking about the book of Allah, and that proved Islam to be false, because if you can corrupt the Bible, which is sent by Allah, that means you can corrupt all the book of Allah. This is something against Islam, not against us. Because those stupid, they forgot that the Quran says, confirming the book which is with them, between their hand, which is with them. Muhammad take an oath in the Quran, and they keep talking about corruption of the Quran, which means they are speaking against the Quran. They say to you, how we know that this is a corruption? They say to you from tafsir, but the Quran never say that. Even the words, the sentence about يُحَرِّفُونَ الْكَلَمَ عَنْ مَوَاضِعِهِ, they changed the words from their location. It turned to be about the Quran, not about us, because only a Jew, he put his finger over the verse, and that is not a corruption. If I put my finger now over a verse so you cannot read it, how I'm corrupting my book? And how even the Jews and the Christian, they will agree to corrupt a book? And why even any Jew will do that? You will read in the Old Testament that a man, he promised God, if he have his victory, the first thing he see in his way, he will kill. He took an oath. He promised God. And then his daughter was the first thing he saw. The daughter asked her father to kill her, to keep his promise to God. So how anyone will accept to corrupt his book? If we ask the Muhammadan, do you accept to corrupt your book? They will say, no way. So do you think you are the only religious in the world? And not to forget to mention that the Quran is debunked heavily by Muslims to be corrupt. As an example, the Imam al-Suyuti, in his book Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran, he said, قَدْ ذَهَبَ قُرْآنٌ كَثِيرٌ. A lot of Quran is missing. A lot of what? A lot of Quran is missing. Is that true? Absolutely. And the book is there. Ad-Durr al-Manthur, and let me show you even what it says. Because those potatoes, they were saying it doesn't say that, CP. This is their scholars, not us. This is who? This is their scholars. All right. And now they will say, you know what? He's lying, you know. I found actually something even better than the one I'm looking for. Let us show this one. This is Aisha. I was looking for other book. I found this book in my way. الإتقان في علوم القرآن. الإتقان في علوم القرآن. What the book is saying. Remember, those books are not written by Christians, neither by Jews. Those are written by the top scholars of Islam, not YouTubers. Not those dummies in YouTube, you know. Let us see what it says. Here we go. And I will use Google Translation, and I will send you even the link for it so you can open it. This is islamweb.net. Islamweb.net. All right. Let us show you the top. This is a very Islamic website. The book of As-Suyuti, volume number 1, page number 662 and down. Then you will see here he's speaking about verses by hundreds are gone from the Quran. Not one, not two, not three. Read with me here, page number 262. It says, قال أبو عبيد حدثنا. And Lili Dawah, he said in his video, everything about the Prophet is written in details. We have even the chain of narration. Yes, you do. Thank God. And look what they are saying. He said, don't any one of you say we have all the Quran. A lot of it is gone. But you should say we had only what is known. Page what? 262. I will use Google Translation. I will give you the link. Here, Aisha, she's saying that the chapter of Al-Ahzab used to be equal to the chapter of Al-Baqarah. In fact, in this hadith, he is saying, قالت كان سورة الأحزاب تقرأ في زمن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم 200 آية فلما كتب عثمان المصاحف لم يقدر منها إلا ما هو الآن. So when the chapter of Al-Ahzab was written in the time of Muhammad, it was at 200 verses. But when Uthman he wrote the Quran, we could not find except what we have now. The hadith after read carefully. From. He asked, what was the number of Al-Ahzab chapter? He said 72 or 73 verses. He's not sure. He said it used to be equal to the chapter of the cow. And we used to have the verse of Ar-Rajm. It's gone. And the rest of the pages is the same. All of them is speaking about how many are missing. All of this about how many are missing. Now, let us use Google Translation, peace be upon him, and give you the link. Google Translation. Read and laugh. The one is talking about their book is preserved. Here he's saying, from, no one of you should say, I have taken the entire Quran. And he does not know what is all of it. Much of the Quran has gone from it. But let be said, I have taken from it what appeared. What? This is your books? Yes, brother. Takbir. Hey, Mahani, can you give me some grape? Allahu Akbar. He debunked Christianity or debunked Islam? And now we continue the same. Aisha, she said that the chapter of Al-Ahzab used to be 200 verses in the time of Muhammad. And now what happened? Hundreds of verses are missing. Let us continue down. Ubay blah blah blah, he said to me, how many are the chapter of Al-Ahzab? How many verses? I said 72, 73. He said, if it were equal, the translation is not accurate, equal to the chapter of Al-Baqarah. What? We are talking about just one chapter in the Quran. Hundreds of verses are missing, and this potato is talking about the Quran preservation, and those are their books. Those are not books written by Part Harman, who is anti-Christianity, about Christianity, to use him as a witness. Those are books written by their sheikhs, and this is Aisha, and this is the link. I will give it to you. You can use Google Translation, and I can give you endless number of reference. Endless number of reference. What else this guy he said in the video? He said that the Trinity is not logical. Where he said that? Let us go.
Reason why the Holy Spirit, for example, is the same thing. It is in the creation. Anything that is in the creation cannot be God.
We showed you that already, but I want to see where he said that, you know, Christianity is not. We don't know nothing about the Bible. Okay, hold on. And he said the Christian, they say we do not need the Bible, which a big fat liar you are. Okay. Please, honest or fair question.
This question. Who dominates Speaker's Corner?
Well, to be honest, with the amount of people that come, it's Muslims, like numbers. But with logical, Islam.
Man, oh man. You killed it. You shot it in the head. Who dominate the Speaker Corner? Is that why your brother was making fun of you? And he said the Christian, they put the pressure on you and you told them Allah entered his creation? And when it's come to logic, Muslims.
For people that come, it's Muslims, like numbers. But with logical, Islam.
Is it this is you? Potato? Is that you? Remember, when it's come to logic, Muslims is the one who dominate. Listen and love.
Again, to my channel, Yajuj and Majuj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about them in the Quran, and they are mentioned specifically in a hadith, brothers and sisters. Now, one thing that a lot of people make a mistake, which I've seen, you know, people of knowledge, is that they try to comprehend and understand who is Yajuj and Majuj? Where are they? How could they stay in a cave for so long and dig, and just when they're about to come out? And obviously there's issues, some say there's issues with the narration, etc. Some parts of it, you know, are not authentic, whatever it may be. I'm not trying to get into that, okay? You know, and then Dhul Qarnayn, and you know, there's so many speculations, etc. And a lot of people come and they're like, some people even get into doubt with this matter. Some individuals even leave Islam. And
exactly.
I'm like, what's the issue here? Let me tell you guys the crux of the matter, because there are a lot of people and a lot of individuals who've tried to make people understand this and even push the narrative of these certain ex-Muslims, you know, that, you know, people are leaving Islam because of this, apparently, which I just heard one individual, and most of his reasons were because, you know, he had intimacy with a lot of girls or something along those lines. Okay, I don't think it was...
Hey, Muslim, anyone understand what he just said? What intimacy? We're talking about Gog and Magog. But anyway, he just said in the previous video, in the one debunking Christianity, that the Muslims dominate by logic. Go.
This issue at all, it was more of his desires. The point is this, that we fall for this, and then what we try to do is, in return, is like, I know, let's try to bring it down to a logical level and try to explain it in a logical way. Now, I've seen many people do these videos, okay? Many people, one of those was Dr. Yasir Qadi. You know, the thing is now, it's Ramadan. I'm not here to talk about anybody.
He talk about people when it's Ramadan. It's Ramadan, I cannot talk, I cannot gossip about you. Like, I cannot stop you on your back. It's Ramadan. Haram, haram. Later.
Etc. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't want to make anything to ruin my fast, my Ramadan, etc.
Yeah,
All I'm just saying is, obviously, there's a lot of things I don't agree with Dr. Yasir Qadi, and there's things I agree with also. So the thing is here, it's just, I don't want to get into the details and the nitty-gritty. The point I'm trying to make is, he also done a video on this matter. The point I'm trying to say, and what I don't understand is this: why do we have to understand everything in the context where, why does it always have to be logical?
What? Lead Dawah. Why always it has to be logical? Who dominate the speaker corner by logic? Muslims.
This question. Who dominates speaker's corner?
Well, to be honest, with the amount of people that come, it's Muslims, like numbers. But with logical, Islam. Yes, sure. So, I asked him a question, he replied with another question.
No, I'm going to respond.
Okay, I'll answer. We believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enters into his creation, he said the lowest part of the heaven, the way it befits his majesty. How that happens, how it happens, I have no idea how it happens.
But he is the one who said, there is no way God can enter his creation, because if he does, that's not logical, and that cannot be God. And he is the same one who says, why we have to understand everything in a logical way? Why? Why you have to use your brain?
Why does it always have to be logical? Why does it have to be something where we're like, oh, explain it to me logically, or, you know, I'm going to start doubting things? This is exactly why Shaitan fell into disbelief. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to do something, bow down to Adam, he couldn't comprehend logically why he had to do that.
So guys, Allah, he ordered Shaitan to bow down to Adam. Shaitan, he said to himself, what's wrong with this idiot Allah? I mean, the angel is the one who disagree with Allah. Why he is asking me to bow down with them? Why it have to be logical? So, in one hand, the Muhammadan, this is how hypocrite they are. Scammers. They speak about logic, and they say we should not believe unless it's logical. Like, is the Trinity logical? That's what he said in the beginning of the video. It's not logical, he said. From the beginning, he said. The Trinity is not logical, brother.
Be honest and answer this question. Who dominates speaker's corner?
They say, who do I pray to? The Father? No, let me pray to Jesus today. No, today, Holy Spirit. Who do I pray to? Anything that is in the creation cannot be God, because they are dependent. Now Christians have gone to a length where they reject the Bible.
Let us see who is the one who reject the Bible. You will not find one Christian who reject the Bible. You are a fraud. You are a fraud, potato. If somebody he reject the Bible, he is no Christian, and you know that. However, you see, even your stupid God, he agreed that the Christian don't reject the Bible. But let us go to see who is the one who reject the Quran. Watch, potato.
And he has fingers.
So what does this prove? That Allah has a finger or fingers.
and he has, and the brother, and they're speaking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the things he's saying, okay, he's getting it from the Salaf in a sense, but the way he's putting it together and he's adding it all together, and he has a shin.
The day when the shin shall be laid bare. In according to a hadith in Bukhari, this shin is the shin of Allah.
And he has a foot.
Then Allah Ta'ala places his foot in hellfire.
Khalas, he's putting the whole picture of the man in the head of the person.
Yes.
Yes.
It's clear and explicit.
You go and tell your kids that. Go and tell a 5-year-old Allah has a shin.
This shin is the shin of Allah.
Yani in that sentence, this is the most dumb pedagogy I've ever seen in my life. You say,
who is the one rejecting the Quran and their prophet words? You. Each time we show you something, you deny it. We show you the sunset in murky water, you say the Quran saying as if it is. Where is as if it is in the Quran? Nowhere. It appeared to Zulqarnain. Where it says that? And I don't want to forget, but I will go back later. Let us continue with this funny Mimi Hijab going nut. He have an ant in his pant.
I appreciate, I come from a Hanbali background, I come from that. But you sit with a kid, yeah? A 5-year-old. You say, if he asks you, does Allah have a hand? And you say yes.
Yes. Allah Ta'ala has a hand.
Do you know what he's going to think? Allah has that.
Is there a problem there? Is it true that both his hands are right? Yes, it is true.
Sorry, I don't care what you think he thinks. He thinks that. He thinks, and then you say Allah has a hand, and Allah has fingers, and Allah has a face, and Allah has foot.
Allah Ta'ala tells us, Ya Akhi Nazri, that he's got a beautiful face.
And you're putting it all, lining it up, and then you say Allah's not a man. A'udhu billah. This kid is confused, bro.
You look confused.
And sorry, some of the examples are poor examples of the dumb, some, sorry to say, yani not thinking straight Salafis. And I have to say it from coming from the Athari background. Say, oh, what is the foot of Allah? They say, oh, you know, the foot of the elephant. The foot of the elephant is different to the foot of the ant. And they think that, oh, Bismillah, yes, this guy is very clever. They say the door handle is better, the door handle is better than the clock hand. You think that's a clever idea, bro? That's Wallahi's whole.
Do you see how they are in chaos? This is stupid religion. They cannot agree with their own religion. You will not find one single Christian saying what they are saying. But this guy, he's saying to us that the Christian reject the Bible. But it's you who reject your teaching, you reject your prophet, you reject your scholars, you reject your Quran. Where the sun set at Dawah? Does the Quran says it appeared to him? Or then you have to go and take a interpretation of somebody, not your prophet. Like, do the Muslims accept what their prophet said? They don't. They don't. Where the sun set? Muhammad, he said, it set in a boiling water. And this is a Sahih hadith. It says here, Sahihul Isnad. Muhammad, Lulu, he said, or she said, that we have everything the Prophet said with the correct chain of narration. Here we go. It's there. Muhammad confirming what the Quran is saying, that the sun set in a muddy boiling water. Why you don't accept it? And this Mimi hijab is going crazy for what? Your prophet said those things. The same as he go crazy when he go around and he attack Muslims for believing in the hadith of his prophet about sucking the tits. And he asked women to suck their tits. And he made a video about me, he's Christian prince, sexual predator. Why? Because I said to a Muslim women, suckle me. After she insulted Jesus, saying that Jesus was playing with his mother boobs. That's what she said. She's a whore. And this coward, he took the video, he cut that part, and he just played the part. I said to her, suckle me. It's you who don't accept your religion. You will not find one Christian saying, I don't accept what Jesus said, or what John said, or what Peter said, or what Mark said. We cannot. Either we are believers or not. One more thing. This potato, Oh, hold on. We have another video.
If you don't mind, Bob, yeah? I like to talk about something where all Muslims can agree, because if you, let's say you defeat me in an argument, yeah? For the sake of argument. Say,
Let us see. Mimi Hijab here, he agreed that his God go inside his creation too.
Entering into his creation. You said you would tell me what the Hanbali position
so
is.
yeah,
So
the Hanbali position is that it's possible in a way that only God knows how.
It's possible in a way that only Allah knows how, brother. How good is that? It's possible in a way. But this guy, he said, and he is the one who speak against himself later, anything enter into his creation cannot be God. And then we have the hadith about even Allah. He changed his look and he take different shape. Not only Allah, he come down every night. And if I go with the Muhammadan in what they say, just to show you how stupid their logic, which is not logical at all, as long Allah have a hand, and Allah cannot enter inside his creation, that means the hand he have is not his creation. Do you see how stupid they are? Anything that is in the creation cannot be God. Who made the hand of Allah? Obviously not him. If you say to me, it is not a creation, well, you are the one who says Allah come down every day. Enter his creation. In order to enter, you have to exist physically. We are not talking about spirit. Muslims don't believe in a spirit. Muslims don't believe in anything is called God is a spirit. Take note. Some naive Christian, they think Muslims, they are the same as us. Muslims do not believe in demon. Genie is not a demon. Allah is not a spirit. Allah has no spirit. So when Allah he enter into his creation, as Lili Dawah he said previously, we are playing it just for the sake of entertainment.
Your hadith says Allah descends to the lowest heaven on the last part of the night.
Yes.
Can you explain to us what that means?
Yes, sure. So, I asked him a question, he replied with another question.
No, I'm going to respond.
Okay, I'll answer. We believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enters into his creation, you said the lowest part of the heaven, the way it befits his majesty. How that happens, how it happens, I have no idea how it happens. How does that go against his nature? I'll repeat again. I'm asking a question. If the hadith said, God on the lowest part of the heaven enters into his creation as a man and answers everybody's prayers, I'll say now we have a problem. Why? Because we believe God Almighty has no beginning, no end. Okay, and other attributes, then we'll have a problem. What we're saying is, how does he enter it? We don't know. What we say is that the way it does it is the way it befits his majesty. But how does that, what you're seeing goes against his nature, who he is, not what he does.
So notice Ali Dawah admitted Allah enters into his creation.
The way it befits his majesty.
But the way it befits his majesty.
Yes.
Question about Allah entering into his creation. You said you would tell me what the Hanbali position
So
is.
yeah, the Hanbali position is that it's possible in a way that only God knows how.
How is that different from the Salafist position?
It's the same.
This is not
same.
what the messenger
But Allah cannot be inside his creation. Like, what the heck is that? I mean, you Muhammad and all hilarious, you know? What a dummy. You know, I mean, there is many things he said in the video, actually. I don't know if I cover it all. Yeah, actually, and he mentioned none of the disciples of Jesus, they met Jesus. What? None of the disciples of Jesus, they met Jesus, brother. That's deep. Let us see where he said that. We don't want to play something already we answered. Let us see.
And I put one drop of poison, just one little drop. Would you drink it? No. He says no. I said, why not? He says, it will harm my body. How are you drinking the Bible when it's destroying your soul?
That's a good point. If there's only one drop of poison, the rest cannot be trusted. Can you tell us about the satanic verses, which is mentioned in the Quran, and Allah, He promised to take it off? Listen, if there's one drop of poison, we cannot drink it. So your stupid Quran confirm our book. Your stupid Quran asking the Christian to follow the book which between their hands. Your stupid Quran claiming that the book, our book, is the book of Allah, and you are struggling to prove that the book of Allah corrupted by Allah. And now you are saying, if a drop of poison in a cup, are you going to drink from it? We will go with you. Satanic verses in the Quran prove that Shaitan, he did not put a drop. Shaitan, he put verses. And the verse saying, Allah will take what Shaitan he throw, which means Shaitan he throw already. So if you drop a drop of poison in the water, is it possible to take it back? And how Allah he protect his book, yet it was possible to Shaitan to add verses to his book in the mouth of Muhammad. And Muhammad himself did not notice until Jibreel came to Muhammad and told him, hey Habibi, stupid Muhammad, huh? What are you doing? This is not from Allah. And the Muhammadan, they claim that Shaitan, he came to Muhammad in the image of the angel Gabriel, and he gave him satanic verses. But as long as Shaitan, he can make Quran like the Quran, that's a contradiction to the Quran, because the Quran says nobody can make the Quran like the Quran of Allah. Here we go, Muhammad received Quran from Shaitan, and Muhammad himself did not notice that this is not from Allah. So obviously anyone can make Quran, including Shaitan. And not only that, what is the proof now that this verse itself is not from Shaitan? So you can relax. Are you with me, guys? As long as Shaitan, he can put one verse, that means Shaitan, he can add more verses. If I can enter into behind the gate of security, that means I can do it again and again and again. And look, Allah, he promised the Muslim to protect the Quran, but he failed. And Allah is saying, instead of saying, okay, you know what, I'm not going to let anyone, he said that actually already, he says, I'm going to take it off. So it's there already. Because you cannot take off something is not there. And Muhammad, he claimed that nobody of the Prophet before him, except Shaitan, he gave them satanic verses. That means all the books of Muhammad, God, are full of satanic verses. It's in front of you. And now, after Shaitan, he gave Muhammad satanic verses, Shaitan is telling Muhammad, different verses, tell them to cool down, okay, they got you busted, praying to the daughters of Allah. Tell them Allah will take it off. Very simple. All right? Allah will take it off. So now relax. But how we can trust that this verse is not coming from Shaitan himself to make you cool down? And now, as long as Allah confirm, Allah will take whatever Shaitan he throw. That means there's more verses is going to be thrown by Shaitan. And as long as the Muslim, they claim that they memorize whatever Muhammad he said, that means you are memorizing whatever Muhammad he said, including satanic verses. And as long as we are talking about the preservation of the Quran, I challenge Ali Dawah to recite for us the 10-time breastfeeding for adult, or beside it, the 5-time breastfeeding for adult. Remember, they keep saying to us, the Quran is preserved. As long as it's preserved, if the goat ate the Quran, then we should not have a problem, because the goat did not eat the memory of Lily Dawah. So this is my challenge to this little girl who don't dare to let me call her or to call me. The same as Mimi Hijab, who hang up on me. He did not even let me. He promised the Muslim a debate, but the coward, he don't dare to do it. The verse of stoning and breastfeeding for adult 10 times. It's a verse. It is a verse. 10 times was in a paper under my pillow. This is the bed of Muhammad. Remember, this is the wife. When the messenger of Allah passed away, he died. A sheep came and ate it. And that means the Muslims, you see, the Muslims, they say to us, lying, that the verses of rajam, which means stoning to death, and breastfeeding for adult, it is there, but we don't have them in the book because the Prophet said so. False, as you see. The book which Muhammad, he died, and it exists after Muhammad, have those verses. And the goat ate them. Are you with me? You ask the Muhammadan, where is the verse of breastfeeding for adult? They say it's abrogated by recitation, but not by a rule. Have you ever heard of religion? You abrogate the recitation. Why? What you will lose? I mean, this is the word of God. If you are going to follow it, isn't it better to have the words of the law without saying there's a law, stone them to death? Shouldn't you have the law first? Why you want to delete the law which you are going to follow? Does it make sense? The guy, he speaks about logic, don't he? And now we notice that Muhammad is dead, which means there's no way that after Muhammad's death, Muhammad, he woke up like a zombie and told them, hey, take off those verses. So he is dead, and we have two verses now, one about the breastfeeding for adult, and the other one says here, the verses were abrogated in recitation, but not ruling. And then it says, other hadith established the number of forced rage by 5. Do Muslims follow the Quran? 5? The hadith says 5. The Quran says 10. We cannot find it in the Quran. And how it can be abrogated by ruling, by recitation after Muhammad's death? Are you with me? Now this guy, he had a big lie too. He said that the disciple of Jesus, they were not exist in the time of Jesus. Those names are not the disciple of Jesus. How I can refute Lily Dawah? You cannot. Let us be honest. If I show Lily Dawah from our books, you will not accept. So what I should do? The only way is to get him busted from his books.
We don't know who Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John is. Who are these people? They never met Jesus. In Islam, the oneness of God makes sense. Yeah? The Quran is preserved, hasn't been changed. And no,
Hold on. Say it again.
this is taken out there. We don't know who Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John is. Who are these?
We don't know who they are. You don't know. You know, when a Muhammadan, he asked a question about who is who, do you know who's Hafs? How you know he exists? You took the Quran from Hafs, which came 200 years after Muhammad. Who is Al-Bukhari? Have you met him? You took the hadith of Muhammad from Al-Bukhari, who came more than 200 years after Muhammad. In fact, all your resource written long after Muhammad, nothing of it goes back to Muhammad time. Because if I came 200 years after Muhammad and I say, I did a study and I found that this guy said to this guy to say, but I never saw any of them. I never witnessed any of them. 200 years after, do you know how many generation? So the Muhammadan, they claim that the disciple of Jesus never met Jesus, and this is absolutely false, because even their stupid books confirm that. Shall we go to At-Tabari or Ibn Kathir? Huh? Let us go to At-Tabari first. We don't know. So the Muslim, they have their names, they knew that they are messengers of Jesus, but the Christian do not know where the Muslims get their reference from. Let us see. Oh, this web page cannot be translated to Google. I need to find a different one. Hold on. It says Tafsir app. Okay, this one is better. Let us see. We did not refute Lili Dawah today. We wiped the floor with him. So today I want you to do this after we finish, you know, take the reference we mentioned to you, or sorry, the video, and cut it pieces and make it short, like how Lili Dawah contradict Lili Dawah, because you know that will make it easier to get them busted. Give me a second. I'm just trying to find like a website can be used to be translation. Not a blog, something official, you know. We are not being lucky each time I click at the website, but we will find it. I have the reference in front of me actually, but I want to find it in Islamic website so I can share it with you. Let us see. Maybe this one. Yeah, you see the problem. I'm finding website, but they have like this is script, like you know the page go inside the not in the page itself, like you know it's like you scroll inside, and that will not make Google able to translate. Let us see something else. Maybe we can show Ibn Kathir. All right. I mean, Muslim website, they become just a commercial to buy Viagra and clothing. All right. Maybe this one will work. It have commercial too. I mean, you cannot even find one without commercial. It's not working too. Well, I found it in this website, قصص الأنبياء Ibn Kathir. Okay, let's use this one. What we can do, I mean, you know. All right. So this is Ibn Kathir. وذكر ابن جرير عن محمد بن إسحاق أن عيسى عليه السلام قبل أن يرفع. So let me translate. So it's mentioned from Ibn Jarir, from Ibn Ishaq. Ibn Ishaq, the source. This is the earliest source of Islam. Ibn Ishaq. Before Jesus Isa been taken up to heaven, he told his disciple Al-Hawariyin to call people to worship one God, Allah, with no partners. And he named each one of them to go to a group of people and to a territory. And he mentioned here some to go to Asham, which means Syria and Jordan and Israel, etc. And some to go to East, which means China, etc. And some to go to the West, whatever the West is. And when they woke up in the morning, they found each one of them, he found himself speaking in a language other than the language which he just know, which fit with the language of the country he will go to. And it mentioned by many that the Injil written by four, Luke, Matthew, and Mark, and John. And he said here, saying here, and between those Injil, there's many differences. And here it says, and those four, there is two of them from those who used to be with the Messiah, Matthew and John, and two who they were not, but they are a company of the company, which means they accompany John and Matthew, and they are Mark and Luke. You see, I'm using your Muslim reference. So let us translate. Why can I translate? I need to use Google browser. Hold on. Give me a second. They love to lie. So from your website, from your Ibn Kathir, Potato, he confirmed that at least two, they were accompany Jesus. Isn't it John? He says, we saw his hands and we touched them. Who is the one who was standing next to the cross? Isn't it your stupid Quran mention the three messengers of Isa, who he sent them to the city of Antioch? And the stupid Mimi Hijab, he asked me to prove it, and I gave him tons of reference, and he hung up on me. Let us use the translation of Google. And now, let us search for the word Luke, maybe. Oh, look like the translation did not translate the word Luke. Okay, let us say what word we will look for, because I don't want to read the whole thing. This is very long. Let us search for the word East. Okay. So, East and the West. Okay, so those are the disciples of Jesus. No, it appeared 3 times. Okay, this is not. It's not coming. I don't want to read the whole thing, you know. I mean, just to show that part. Let us see. We type West. Okay. The translation is not really coming accurate. Let us see. Lowest. No. This Google translation is horrible. Okay, let us search for Four, maybe? No. Okay, let's see. Two. Let's see. Yeah, that's a long page to search in it. They don't have numbers. They don't have anything. It's just like long script. Let us see if we type Mark, maybe. You see, Google is confused about the names. It's not translating correctly. Let me do something else. I will copy the text. And I will oh no, Google is translating right away. So let us do this. I will open Google Translation. I copy the text as it is, and I will paste here. The gospel was quoted by four: Luke, Matthew, and Mark, and John. Between those gospels, there's a lot of this disparity in relation to each copy and copy. So this is the part, but the rest is not showing. I don't know why. Here it says, and those four, I don't know why this part is not showing. Let us copy it and paste it again. Paste this part only. Okay. And these four, two of them, of those who realize Christ, which means they were with the Christ, they've been with the Christ, they live with the Christ, Matthew and John. And two of them, they are from the companions, and they are Mark and Luke. This is your book. Getting you busted, you stupid liar. Now, the rest of the disciple, Luke and Mark, we have tons of reference about who they are and what they witness. Not only that, we have even proofs